by Officer Allen, who is our Marine Unit Supervisor, although his rank is a police officer. He supervises the Bay Constables, and the Bay Constables work with him. We also have a number of police officers who are certified Marine law enforcement officers, so that in the event Alex or Lance aren't here, they don't work 24/7. We have other officers that can jump in, and we also have a program that we can recall the Bay Constables, some of whom live close here, and they can get in here relatively quickly. We do get calls off hours, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning for marine resources, and we have a process where we can get them in. It doesn't always work, but it's the best that we can do with the resources that we have. So I think we've got that. Why don't we talk a little bit about the boat, and what I'll do is, Alex, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Why don't we talk about the size of the boat, the engines?
Absolutely. So originally, I just want to thank you all for coming, and two, when Commissioner Copley first took over, he came to me and he said, "What do we need?" And I told him, "Hey, we need some equipment. We need a new boat. We need this." He says, I explained to him the process of, the boat that we have. We had an old catamaran style boat. It had twin 150s on the back, 150 horsepower. They had over 3,000 hours. They were at its lifespan. We were patching holes in them. Commissioner Cole was like, "We got to get you a new boat." So I want to thank you all for everything you guys did to help us get this. I mean, it means a lot to, I know, myself and Sergeant Henricks as well, and the Marine Unit staff. We're able to get out there and be safe ourselves as well as helping everybody else. So this boat, originally we started building this a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. It's a 31-foot safe boat with twin 400 horsepower motors on them. It got a foam collar. It's not inflatable, so if you do puncture it or something like that, it's not gonna deflate. It's virtually unsinkable, which is nice. Big scupper valves that are in it, so water flows over the bow. There's giant holes in the in the hull of it where it just flows right out. We got a FLIR system, infrared cameras, camera that actually moves. We can pinpoint a certain location if, typically he's driving. If I'm the passenger or the co-captain, I can pinpoint on a camera where where I see something. If someone's floating in the water, he's right here. He can actually look at his screen and actually drive towards that location. We have an amazing computer setup. You'll see when we go down there. Heat, air conditioning, so it's 24/7 no matter whether it's 6 degrees out there or 97 degrees. The crew is comfortable, and everyone we bring in. If someone has heat exhaustion and we put them on the boat, we can get them, cool them down enough so we can provide the proper aid until we can get the EMS on scene. That's huge. That's the biggest thing. We've never had that before. I think that's.
It's a 4-season boat, and it's something that we've never ever had before in the lifetime of the unit. Everything with the unit previous to today, essentially, it's been items that we've been put together that's been kind of cobbled, and we've made it work. Right, this is the tools that we're given. We're going to go ahead. We're going to get the job done. But this is probably the first large piece of equipment that we have received, as a unit and department, that is specifically built for this and is designed to go ahead and not only keep our crew members safe, but yet still all provide the best service that we can in any condition. So
let me just add, one more thing. And one of the things came up during the presentation was the cost of the boat. And it is expensive. We all know everything has gotten expensive in the country over the last couple of years. So that came in at about $565,000, $570,000. Yeah. To put it in perspective, the average police car that we put in service today costs us $110,000 for me to order it and then hand the keys to an officer, and that car lasts 5 years, 3 years of primary service, and then 2 years of say reserve service. We go out to traffic details, whatever. So we get that car for 5 years at $110,000. The boat cost us $560,000, $570,000. We're expecting the lifespan about 20 years on the boat. So I think it's relative. We're going to have Marine Patrol, which we need a Marine Patrol in a maritime community such as Rye. We've got to have the right equipment. The other thing is this: we've had to go year round. I mean, we will talk about the types of complaints we get now. It's not just the hunting that happens here, but there are a lot of complaints with that. But just a month ago, we had 2 individuals kite surfing on the Sound, and one of them was in distress, was drifting out into the Sound. How do we get them? How do we do that? And so we have to have the resources to put the officers out there safely. And the other boat just really wasn't situated or prepared to do that. It was more of a pleasure craft. So now we're able to do this, and we're able to go out and take care of matters in and around the area, you know, year round.
If I can just add, I'd like to recognize Senator Mayer, who's joined us, Assemblyman Otis, and then speaking, I think on behalf of the council, certainly on behalf of the people of Rye. We have great people in our police department. We should have great equipment for them to use, and I think this is a great thing. It's called a Safe Boat, that's its brand, but it is going to make our coast safer, both for our police officers who work the coast and for everybody in Rye. So thank you for making that choice, and thank you, City Manager Usry, for advancing it.
I think to that point, I mean, up until 4 years ago, the city really did not have any sort of planning that was going into its fleet, and that certainly includes the boat. I mean, we have 150 plus vehicles of various shapes and sizes. And, it's no surprise that a boat ends its life in 20 years. We all know that. But you don't necessarily ever plan for that until you're really forced to. And starting about 4 years ago, Joe Fazzino, the city comptroller, Ryan Coyne, city engineer, and I established a fleet plan, and we started investing ahead of what those needs were going to be. This was one of the first acquisitions out of that fund, and that was after 3 years of trying to go to the Coast Guard for grants. So it wasn't for lack of trying; it was just the need for money. As I shared with the council earlier today, in the last 5 years, we've invested almost $5 million in emergency services, in equipment, and in vehicles. And we have a plan that's going to give us, the city, the ability to continue doing that. But we know that the critical needs we have in emergency services, we have the same thing with public works. And it's our goal collectively, and certainly the council has been not just supportive, but have been aggressively pursuing this, is to make sure that we have the proper equipment, whether it be the boat or garbage trucks or fire trucks or anything else. So
I'd like to say one thing. I've lived in Rye for 50 years.